a publication workshop, let me know. I'm willing to do this
Huh?
one.
Sure, sir. At present, we have Dr. Raja Mohammed, our Dean Research also. I'll
Yeah.
definitely conduct that. We will do that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So on behalf of the research office, I welcome you, sir. Dr. Assalamu alaikum. I'm
Yeah.
Dr.
Assalamu alaikum.
Raja Mohammed, Dean Research,
Yeah.
and then I will you give series of lectures to our research scholars also.
No
Currently,
problem.
we are having nearly 600 research scholars and
Okay.
more than around 225 faculty members with a PhD qualification in our institution.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. So,
Yesterday, I saw your video, sir. It was quite interesting, and we will definitely conduct in our campus, sir.
thank you. Thank you so much. You're a very dynamic leader. No problem. You
Thank
can
you.
manage.
Sure, sir. We'll do that, sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Good morning, all. Professor Dr. Mamun Habib is a professor at School of Business, Independent University, Bangladesh. In addition, Dr. Habib is a visiting scientist of University of Texas, Arlington, USA. Prior to that, he was associate professor at BRAC School, Business School, Bangladesh, Asia Graduate School of Business, AGSB, at Uniter International University, Malaysia. Department of Operation Research Science, University, Utara, Malaysia, UUM, Malaysia, and Department of Operation Management, American International University, Bangladesh, AIUB. He has more than 18 years of experience in field of teaching as well as in training, workshop, consultancy, and research. At present, he is supervising some PhD students at locally and internationally. As a researcher, Dr. Habib published about 140 plus research papers, including conference proceedings, journals, articles, and books. He serves as an editor-in-chief, lead guest editor, editorial board member, reviewer of more than 20 journals, particularly Elsewhere, Scopus, Thomson Reuters, Web of Science, Index journals. Also, he delivers lectures as a keynote speaker at 50 international conferences. His core research area are supply chain management, production and operation management, operation research, research methodology. Finally, Dr. Habib is an active member of different professional organizations, including IEEE Senior Member, IEOM President, SCM Technical Division, IETI Senior Member and Board of Director, IRED Fellow, GRDC Vice President, IEB, IAMS Informs, just to name a few. Thank you, sir. We welcome you. Uh, Room is yours, sir.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm so much delighted to be here as a speaker. And as I'm familiar with this institute for a long time, and especially Dr. Hamza, she's a good leader. So when she invited any conference or seminar, we are willing to do this one. Thank you.
Thank
So
you, sir.
first of all, before going to start, I like to share some personal opinion so that you can also think. You know that suppose when you are working on that online mode, and if you work on the like face-to-face mode, do you think that is it the same process, online mood or face-to-face interaction? The answer should be definitely not the same platform. But the problem is that we have to adopt this one because we have no other option. We are adopting this one that as we don't have any other option. You know that suppose if you think in this way, today our discussion basically, I think you know that everybody you are familiar with this one. Online learning, design, development, delivery of online content. I personally deliver on that context of the online learning or e-learning concern and challenge. You know what I said just few minutes before that face-to-face learning and online learning are not the same. And you know that I always mention due to the COVID-19, in order to accept the online learning, we have to change our mindset. We are the university professor, university faculty member, but still we are dependent on the face-to-face learning, and we like it, we enjoy it. On the other hand, we are not familiar with the online learning, so we have to cope up. And mentioned many where in the world that due to the COVID-19, our changing our social structure, family culture. So why not we can change in our in university premises the culture. So let us start as is a faculty training program. So how we can cope up with this? This is my discussion. I like to share with you some challenges and how we can overcome these challenges. And I like to give the more emphasis on assessment part, but I hope that remaining speakers will discuss this one. And finally, I like to invite your question. That is a more important interact session, so we can share the experience with you. So I let us start in this way that if you look very carefully, the world scenario due to the COVID-19 and
Oh,
higher education.
I'm sorry, sir, I'm interrupting. You have to play the slide, sir.
Yeah, can you see it's a slide?
No, sir, you have to just play. You have to press that. Yes, sir, you can press it.
Can you see now?
Uh, no, sir. We can see the slide, but you have to play that slide, sir. Presentation.
Yeah, you have to put screenshot, screenshot F5. If you press it, will be good.
Can you see
Slideshow.
now? Yeah, I already give it a slideshow.
Sir, we can see your. No, slideshow we are not able to see, sir. You can do one thing. You can unshare it and then share it again.
Just do it.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Please go to the full screen mode, sir, please.
So you can press F5 directly.
I did already. I did it.
Okay, okay.
F5. But can you see?
See presentation, sir, but it's not in slide show mode.
Just a minute. Let me check once a time.
You first stop sharing, sir, then again share and put
I'm
it on
doing.
slide mode, sir.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Yeah, sure, sir.
This is the one problem. We call it a technical problem. Because I check it in
No issues, sir.
the
No issues, sir.
I check
It
it.
happens, sir. No
Yeah.
problem.
If you allow me, can I change my Firefox to the Google Chrome?
No problem, sir.
Yeah, I'm just log out and
Sure,
or if
sir.
you don't mind, can I forward the PowerPoint slides to you? You can share from your
Okay, sir, you
side.
can do. Yes, sir, you can do that also.
Yes, this is the best, easy
Yeah, you
option because I don't want to
share.
log out.
Send the mail to me, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing this one. I sent to you.
Okay, sir. Let me check.
So we can continue and then we can also show the PowerPoint slide. So what I
Yes,
say
sir, you can.
that
Sure.
the basically we have to change the mindset. It's very important in that sense. You know, if we could not change our mindset, then how we can cope up with the online learning? So I just share with you before going to the main lecture. Last week I delivered one lecture in Indonesia, and that was the 2 hour session. So we started on time, everything is okay. Suddenly, electricity disruption, and then I could try to continue in the mobile, and then again I noticed that something probably the mobile is at charging the time out. So let's go to the for the hotspot other option, and then we continue the hotspot. So when we are delivered this kind of 3 hour lecture in the MBA classes, so that is the question that how can contact the this kind of 3 hours lecture in the online mode. And I would say that that even the traditional face-to-face interaction, we can deliver the lecture the whole day. But online, if you, is it possible in front of the laptop, you will be stay there the 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours lecture. So that's the question is that how we can adapt with this environment. I like to start by this world scenario first of all. Dr. Hamza, did you receive my email?
Sir, I have received the PPT, sir. I'm just trying to share it, sir.
Okay. So what I said that if you look our world scenario due to the COVID-19, what is happening? If you look very carefully, all over the
So can
world,
you see this?
yeah, I can see. Everybody can see.
Okay. Somebody unmute and
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, we
Okay.
all can see.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir,
So can you
when you
turn
have
off
to
your
move.
microphone, please? Except that Dr. Hamza, madam, please turn off your microphone, please. Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. It
Please,
is
Dr. Hamza.
on.
Yeah. So can you go to the next one, please? So what I said that let us see the COVID-19 and higher education scenario all over the world. I just started from the USA, then we come back to our South Asia, especially India and our subcontinent. During the COVID-19, the effective tool in keeping the student attention and maintaining the access to learning has been online courses. Because you see, I remember that on the month of the February, I received the email from the University of Texas Arlington. They are planning that how they will cope up with this environment, especially the face-to-face learning to convert to the online learning. I still recall that from February.
From February.
And then
And then
University of the
the
top
city
ranked
of the top
university,
ranked
how they
university,
approach
how
this
they
one.
approach this one.
Can you turn off your
Can you turn off
microphone,
your microphone,
Dr. Said
Dr. Said
Mohammed?
Muhammad?
Yeah, thank you.
Uh,
So this is not only that this is the university. If you look very carefully, that all over the world in US, how they adjusted their programs, because you understand when you go to the online teaching, you cannot use the same courses, or maybe you have to do some modification, revision, and how you can present. Today we'll discuss about this issue. Stanford University has called off the remaining 2 weeks of the in-class lectures, the last 2 weeks the lectures, and they are requesting the professor to move any remaining lessons online. I still recall that I was colleagues in the US, those universities, they said at first it was very difficult for them because they are preparing everything based on a face-to-face discussion. Now, how they could move to the online learning. Same thing, the University of Washington, they announced a ban on campus classes until the spring break. And now you see that not only the USA, if you go back to the our subcontinent, India, I joined the many webinar in India, many universities. So how they're sharing their opinion. You know that basically India is the rich in education. So unfortunately, due to the face-to-face learning, they could not use this technique. So they have to move to online learning. But our subcontinent, there's one culture is that we do not prefer the online learning too much. and we do not want to accept the online teaching as well. So now we have no other option due to the COVID-19. So we have to move to that place. How to move to this place? That is our discussion. That is our challenge, and we have to share our opinion, and you have to share also your opinion, and how we can do this. Today, basically, I have my discussion on that challenge and how we can maintain this challenge. Can you go to the next slide, please? You know that what you can do, we have to go to the like robust system. First of all, we can do the one thing is that online education into their coursework, all online may prove the challenging. And now, how we can do this one? Our first target, student retention. Students should be involved with our online learning. So look very carefully. If you understand our first target, student retention, we like to confirm that our students they are attentive in the online lecture. You know that due to the online mood, some of the students they are not willing to registration. That is another issue. That if they are not willing to registration, then how we can continue this? So online mood is a critical in that sense. And if you ask me the challenge, the main challenge in the online learning is that the smart device. So we need the smart device. So at least we need the like if you see the smartphone or the maybe laptop or desktop, at least one. So we have to confirm that all students they have financial capability or not. Then our next challenging issue is the connectivity. The connectivity issue, how we can maintain the connectivity. So we need the continuous connectivity. So this is very another issue that how we can increase the bandwidth, another issue. So you know that I give the example, lots of example in many universities. All universities they raise the fund, some fund. We call it the scholarship fund or financial aid, especially for those students. They have to need this kind of financial support. So you see, we have how we are cope up with the online learning because we like to confirm that we have no other option. We have to go to the online learning, but the students they need the, like this kind of support. Why not they can come to the apply in the university for the financial aid. University maybe they can do some financial assistance to them. So this is one issue. And you know that education institution is better than other institution. At least we are getting the salary. Some of the university they are getting the some of the like 5%, 10% cut for the financial aid or something. That's still is okay. I'm just sharing the overall situation all over the world. But what I said that industry people they are facing lots of problems. Some of the industry they already closed. Some of the industry there's a 20% salary cut, 40% salary cut, except the giant multinational company. So they're doing a very good job during the COVID-19. So we have to understand the financial issue is the major issue, and how we can confirm that our students they're active during the online learning. If they have no financial issues regarding the like device and the connectivity issue. Can you go to the next one, please? You know that let us start the technical problem. I already mentioned that now my discussion with the technical problems and challenges, how we can overcome this one, so that at least we can try to apply this one. In the last slide, we already mentioned that we have to change our structure. Online course structure little bit changing. So you have to add more emphasis on that online mode rather than face-to-face mode. Say, suppose earlier we prefer that okay, there will be maybe only one assignment or two assignment, but now we have to move to the like more many assignments as they can submit the online email. So let us start in this way, our technical challenge now. First of all, network. I already mentioned this one. But a technical issue that you keep that okay. There is a online mood lecture you have started, but you cannot ask your student turn on your video. You cannot push them. They cannot. You must have opened the video. Yeah, we have to approach that. Definitely try your level best to turn on your video. But question will be there. Students will say there is a network issue. I couldn't get the good speed. So if I turn on the video, I cannot continue this session, something like that. So what I said that this is the major issue that, and you know that privacy, there is some privacy act that if anybody say no, I don't want to show my face to anyone, so you cannot push them. So how you can handle? I believe that HR director and then other top executives, they have to decide how you can manage it. how we can come up that at least during the class lecture, online lecture, the student they should open the camera. Otherwise, how we could confirm that whether they are available or not in the class? Maybe they started, they joined the session and they left the class. That is one possibility. And electricity failure. I already mentioned this was very critical thinking that even the Wi-Fi broadband disruption there, then how you can manage it? So there are alternate option, the data. Mobile data package is another option. So in order to ensure that our students they have the mobile data package, we have to consult with the telecom industry. Some of the university they are doing even in our country, Bangladesh. I know that some of the university in Malaysia they also did this one. They communicate with the telecom company so that students they can get some of the discounted package only for the this kind of online lecture. University they can approach the telecom industry. I believe that telecom industry also carry out this one. It's not only for students; they can do this one for the faculty members as well. So what I said that electricity failure is the issue. We have to think about the our smart device. If they don't have the smart device at Wi-Fi and broadband disruption, then we have to think the mobile data package. In the online mode, there is no calendar tab, whiteboard scheduling option. Hey, this is another issue that which mode you are using in the online lecture. There's a lots of option. Zoom is an option. Google Meet is an option. Google Classroom and Microsoft Team is another option. We can use it. And WebEx is another option. If you use the iPhone device, then we can use a WebEx application as well. If you ask me that Zoom is better for the meeting purpose, but a classroom Zoom is not appropriate in that sense. If you're planning to take the online quizzes or the submission, the assignment submission, you have to check the plagiarism and other issue. In that case, the Google Classroom is better than anything. Google Classroom. Again, now what type of Google Classroom? Say if it is a Google Classroom under the G Suite, then there is lots of options. But if the Google Classroom not in the under the G Suite, then there is the other option. You have to enjoy the less option if you use the G Suite. So that is another one. That what would be the mood of our online lecture. And now come to the question of students applicability. So in our university, independent university in Bangladesh, 3 months before when the COVID-19 started, at first the university we are using under the G Suite email. So university at first provided the email address to the faculty to the student because also they don't have the Gmail. So under the G Suite, they create the email address for the student. So now students they can have the access due to the email, so they can use that one, the platform, Google Classroom platform. But some of the university in the world they're using Microsoft Team. Microsoft Team also very powerful, no doubt. It's also good. But I think we are not too much familiar with the Microsoft Team rather than the Google Classroom. Google Classroom is very popular all over the world, especially in our Asian country. And next problem is that microphone problem with the poor network coverage. You couldn't hear properly, microphone issues, other issues, graphic steps. Some of the mathematical course like the accounting and finance, we need the graphics tab. So that is another issue whether the university will provide this one or we have to manage by ourselves. And that when anybody, I think when we started our online lecture, some of them they turn on their microphone. So there is a noise coming from the other. So you see in your class, there are 40 students. So that means at first you have to give the instruction. We say that it is better that in the first class of the semester, you have to university they can create one we call it the protocol, online lecture protocol for faculty member and student. I can repeat online lecture protocol for faculty member and student, so that how what they have to do, what they can do. Not too much lengthy, it's 1 or 2 pages, so that the faculty members they can deliver this one, they can demonstrate it this lecture in the first day of the class. So students they have to aware about what they can do or not. You know that the question will be there. Suppose he or she in the home, so now you're delivering the lecture. So when you deliver the lecture, that what type of dress up they have to use, code of dress up, and then how they are doing their attitude. Sometimes they are calling other people, and they can see the students they are calling to other people. That is something we need some protocol so that the students they have to aware about this one. We cannot do this one. Try to manage how you can manage it, how can make the discipline, and you have to confirm this one that accessibility of the matters. You see today, I tried to show my PowerPoint slides. Unfortunately, I couldn't do this one. So this is a very critical problem you have to face in the online. And I believe that faculty members they have to do the training program, at least a 1 or 2 day training program, at least, so that they are familiar with this one. It is not like that you are not expert. You are expert, but problem is that this kind of environment is not familiar for a long time. We are delivering the lectures of one lecture, 30 minutes, one or finish. But you have to use every day this one. So you have to need some of the training program. I believe that we can provide the training material as well. So faculty member they can start based on this one. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Yes.
In Google Classroom, there is a comments option. So as a faculty member, you are the teacher. You can post your any kind of comments, any kind of class changing, or any kind of a link for the Google Meet or something like that. The students they can post it as well. Now, the question is that how they will post it, what type of message they will post it. So you can give some restriction. Yeah, you can ask the queries, no problem. You can post your comments as well. But sometimes they are asking lots of queries which is not relevant to your posts. Then how you can manage it? That is another challenge. That how you can manage. I believe that now faculty members should be the more practical thinking that how they will manage it, because it's not very easy to manage the 45 students in the one class and 40 students, and instantly you are delivering the lecture, you have to manage it. This one. Student, you have to ensure that student presence during the audio or video, even the off. So now how will you take the attendance? In the Google, if you use the G Suite, in Google Classroom, there's option. Directly they will take the attendance. So one student they log in the platform, online mode platform. So it means that it will be recorded. So if it is a recorded, then is easy for you. If it is recorded for you, no need to ask one by one. This one, rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No need to ask. So 40 students, no need to ask the 45 minutes to spend the time only just for the rule call or the attendance call. So, if possible, if you adding this one, that attendance will be recorded on time due to the software, due to the Google Classroom platform. Now come the recording of the lecture. There is two issues. I had the few faculty members they said it's good if you record it earlier, and then it will be start when your lecture start. Will be there, but if there is any problem, they can raise. You can reply. Another group they said no. If we do the recording earlier, sometime maybe we can miss the points which will be raised by the student. So it should not be like that. But during the lecture in the Google platform, Google Classroom, there is the option of recording. Suppose now Dr. Hamza, she's recording our lecture. There is the option. So if you do the recording now, and then maybe one of the student out of 40 students, he or she called you and asked you that we could not attend the class due to the other issues and something like important issues. So how you can represent them? How you will solve their problem? You can use this recording. But again, the question will be there. Who knows? Maybe the many students in future they'll think that okay, no need to join the class. We have the recording option, so you can collect this one from the other people. So what I said that recording should be done at your end. As a faculty, you can control this one. Students should not record your lectures. So you should allow them. If you allow them, so they will use this one for the for the in future for the other lectures as well. in the screen, how many people you can see? That is another issue. That how many people you can see. I can see in the meeting details that there are 57 participants, but I can see only just camera on is that only Dr. Hamza, remaining they turn off their camera, so I cannot see them. And even if everybody opens the camera, there is a restriction when the presentation is going on. We cannot see the lots of people at the same time. So that is another issue. So you have to come up the which is available from the list, the name. So you'll face this problem in the classic as well. So students can continuously attend the lecture, leaving the lecture, because sometimes it's very difficult for you. When you're delivering the lecture, you are not moved to check who are available, who left. You can see only this number 57, 55, 54. So that is the another way that how you can monitor this one. Okay. So when you think of the attendance, is it possible? Just I'm sharing with you. I think you can take your own decision. There is some restriction, like you can take the attendance within the 30 minutes or first 45, 40 minutes. So it will be the one demonstration to the student that if you leave the class, it's also monitoring. So maybe it will be hamper your attendance as well. But question is how you can do this one. I think today when you go for the Q and answer session, you can share your opinion as well. And but I always suppose now I'm using PowerPoint slides. You can see my PowerPoint slides, but you are still freeze. You are silent, listen the lecture. You cannot show the gesture. You cannot show the face or something. So you know that sometimes it's too much boring. So online lecture, that's why it's not very popular. It's too much boring. You see 1 hour, 2 hour, you listen the lecture. How the students will cope up? You just see students means if you think of the age, say 18 to 24. 18 to 24 age, the students, how you manage it during this time. So even lecture should be pattern should be changed. More lively, ask the question, and you have to interact with them so that they have to feel better. Oh, okay, there's some question. Let me participate in this session. Dr. Hamza, please next. So we are talking about the technical problem, but you know that that is everywhere we have to face. But it's our question how to manage it. I only mentioned that attendance record system, Google Classroom, they're doing this one, and you know that we can take the one in the class there is sometimes seer class representative, or maybe if you have a TA or something, they can also do this one monitoring system. They can see this one who's coming. But I think it's not easy. As when you deliver the lecture, it's very difficult for you to maintain this one, that attendance monitoring system. And now come to the question is that suppose say a foundation course. Usually the foundation course, we assume that class size will be larger. So that is very difficult, how you can take the quiz, exam, attendance. If the class number of students is 40, 45, is okay. It's also large, but it's okay, you can manage. But if it's near to 100, then it's difficult. You can deliver in the public lecture, but you cannot take the lecture in the class lecture. You know that I delivered the last month I delivered the one lecture in the one research organization. There's a number of participants of 2,000. So I delivered the lecture to 2,000 participants online. They listen because they're a researcher. But if you do 2,000 students, it's difficult. Cannot. So that is something we have to think. This one. I suggest that university they can create a helpline. This is the helpline or online helpline for the faculty members, especially the adjunct faculty members. You cannot ignore the adjunct faculty members; those are part-time faculty members. So if they face any kind of difficulties online classes, they can immediately get help from the helpline. So this is very important helpline. Maybe the 2 or 3 person will be involved. One from the like the IT, another from the university department, another from the university. So that is the 3 members should be there. So any kind of, and you can do the roster duty. So when anybody faces any problem, You can send the email them, or you can call them so they can get the support. But again, it's very important nowadays online lecture. And now come to the next question, if you don't mind. I believe that you are the faculty member. So how you monitor the faculty member performance in the class, whether they are delivering lecture, what type of content they're using, because online platform is on the same. Quality assurance center, I think that every university have a quality assurance center or quality, whatever you call, different name. So they have to, quality assurance center, they can take this privilege. Google Classroom, there is option. So there is a one representative on the quality assurance center. They have a right to enter the class during the class time, or everything the online mode. You are delivering the lecture, no problem. You are delivering the lecture, but there is a one representative from the quality assurance center. They can enter your class anytime if they think, and they can monitor what they discuss and how about your performance, or whether there any kind of shortcomings of you, so they can share with you later after the class. It's not like that they are pushing you, but they like to assist you. Everything here is the assisting, because the pandemic time. This is not the time that where we can do our command. This is the time that we have to work together, because we have to survive. Our students, they have to survive. Our faculty, they have to survive. Our university should survive. We always mention one thing is that suppose students, they are not willing to registration for the next semester. So then how the university management, they will provide the salary to the faculty members. So there is some link up. So you have to understand. As students, they are not also in the good mood. So due to the family issues, due to the pandemic time, there's lots of problems. Somebody they have affected, compete COVID-19. Somebody they have died. So the family members, they're also trouble. So that is the time we have to work together. How we can ensure that good environment for the online learning. Madam, next please. If you look very carefully, there is another. I would say that it's a non-technical problem. So first of all, we discuss the technical problem. How we can manage it. I think that technical division as well as that HR, they can have to think how to come to the decision. Now we are going to discuss the non-technical problem. The first problem, low attendance. That is something we have to come up with the decision how we can manage it. Suppose earlier we mentioned that we have to ensure the students that you have to attend the class online mode. But I have one experience I like to share with you. Say I'm taking the one MBA class last semester. So when I take the MBA class face to face, there is a number of students of 40. The face to face classes, I never get the students 40 students in the class. So maximum I got the students the 36, 37. Even during the quiz time or the special the semester project, there is 37, 38 maximum. But in the online lecture, I noticed the number of students 40. It means that students, they also feel bored in their houses, in their home. They can go outside, they can do anything. So they need they need some platform where they can join us. So class would be like that. But again, I remind you, if you notice that your class attendance is going to down, you have to think how you can change your presentation style, how you can change the class lectures, do some more participative mode or something so that they can allow, they can come and they can discuss. Secondly, outside noise. I think I like to request that you have to request your all students the first day of the class, the turn off your microphone. But if I request your name, then you can turn on your microphone. You know that there is option to mute. Google Classroom is the option of the mute. You can apply that one, but you cannot unmute. That is another issue. So that's why they have to do this. That's why you have to discuss with them, because you understand outside noise is a very important issue. You are dealing with the lecture, he or she is in the home, there is some of the home noise problem. So how you can manage it? Lack of concentration. Yeah, this is another issue. And this is a presenter responsible how he or she will create this one. I like to request that if the students in front of you, there's another issue. You can understand, you can see the face. But when dealing with the online lecture, sometimes you cannot see their face. So how you can understand? After the few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, you have to pause. And you have to ask, do you have any question? Or maybe you can ask any one of them. You can ask them that Mr. Asif, Miss Selina, something like that. So that they can share their opinion. So you can understand. So that means students there will have, maybe you can ask any question to them. So that is the way that how you can create the concentration. You know that I already mentioned that we have to provide the online protocol for the lectures, online protocol lectures for the faculty member students. At least they have to know this one. Because I noticed that not in all classes, some classes, some students they are very aggressive. So they are not willing to do the class in online lecture. So how do you manage? And this is another question: the gesture, the tracer. Usually, face-to-face learning, when they come to university they can see and they can check. But in the online platform, it's very difficult to understand that what type of gesture they're using. Is in there is no dress code or something. So I believe that you can design some protocol so that at least they are aware of this one. And the past of the class, faculty will explain that what they have to do, what they cannot do, something like that. I already mentioned the training program. We can design the training program for the faculty members and the students as well. And then how we can make sure that effective online classes in terms of attendance, attention, participation, discussion. In the training program, we can explain in details. Suppose now, basically, suppose Dr. Hamza, madam, she is basically doing this one, FDB training. Why did she arrange this kind of activity? So that she can focus that what is happening in the global platform. So we are not isolated from the global platform, then we have to do the same things. That is the way that at least we need some platform so that you can share your opinion, your question if you have any question. And I would say that that when you do the skill sharing, and it's very difficult to understand the non-verbal question. So what I mentioned earlier, you can provide a break, pause, and you can ask the student. I request that uh, we need the change the question, the lecture pattern. Suppose earlier you can face to face 1 or 30-minute class, you can deliver the 1 hour 15 minutes easily. But now it is not possible. Online lecture should not be not more than 1 hour. Even the MBA class, 3 hour class, you can reduce this class 2 hour 15 minutes to something 2 hour 30, not more than 2 hour 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And I suggest that if the 2 hour 15 class, again you should give them a break. I can take the 3 hour class. It's difficult because students they can absorb, and in front of the laptop, in front of the smartphone, 2 hour sitting is difficult for them. It's not difficult for you if you're the faculty member, you're expert. They're not expert. We have to understand their feelings. So we have to think from their perspective, their ground. We should not think from our perspective, our ground. Madam, next please. We are talking about the non-technical problems. You know that when due to the COVID-19, you are not moving, so you are at your home and you have to deliver the lecture from your home. Okay. So now there are some university they are planning. They suppose if there any faculty members they say they don't have the enough opportunity to deliver the lecture from their home. So the university they create some of the few rooms in the class in the university for the smart all kind of facilities. So faculty members they can come to the university, they can deliver from there. But I said that university they create some few rooms, suppose 5 to 10 rooms. If any faculty they have the laptop problem, they have microphone problem, they cannot deliver it from the home. They can come and they can deliver the lecture from the university. If it is optional, no problem. But university pulls them that you have to come to the university, you have to deliver it from the university. Students they will stay in the home. That is another issue. If the faculty member they are not in the sound mood, then how they'll deal with the lecture? Okay, they can come to the university if they don't have that kind of provision in their home. I mentioned earlier that MBA class, EMBA class, we have to design master's level class, MTech class, how we can do this one, how we can keep them more engaged in their class lecture. Somebody they said is better you can take the like pop-up quiz, instant quiz, sudden quiz. But I see that this is sudden quiz also a burden for them. At this moment, we shouldn't create any burden. I personally prefer the assignment. There is a lots of assignment option now, and all assignment you have to think of the online option, online version, rather than the submission, the hard copy. So how you do this? You have to think. I believe is that we have a solution, and we can happy get the solution if you think, spend some time. You know that there is another issue is that uniformity and integrity must be maintained throughout the department, again the question paper preparation evaluation. This is very important. Suppose the one course is say operations management. In operations management course, suppose there are 7 sections, the 7 teachers. So some of the faculty maybe they deal with the section or 3 sections. So at least come to the decision that how you can make it the uniform integrity system. Today I'll give the one instruction in the last line, so that you have to also think about this one, that how you can do this. Because what I said that if it's a integrated and uniform system, easy. Other the fact students will think, oh, that is their policy different, our policy difficult, their policy easy. No, no. At least try to maintain this one. PDF books. You cannot ask your student go to the outside and you have to go, buy the book from there. You cannot say. We cannot push them to go outside. So even you cannot say that you have to should come to the university, you have to collect the book from the library. It is optional. If they can come, they can collect, no problem. But you cannot push them. So now what is the next option? Ebook. And now, if you use a Google platform, Google Classroom, you cannot upload the ebook there due to the copyright issues. So if you have own book, you have your own book, you can upload, no problem. But the Google Classroom, due to the Piracy Act, there is other copyright issues. You cannot upload that ebook in the Google platform. So now comes the question: what is the option? I always mention one thing: is that if you go to the USA or if you go to the UK, you can say we are using the photocopy of the book. They will be surprised. What? You are using a photocopy of the book? How come? Xerox of the book? How come? But if you use this sentence in the India, we are using the photocopy of the book. We are using that as Xerox of the book. We are familiar because due to our developing stage, due to our social structure, some of the state in India they're very poor in terms of their economical condition. So they have no option. They have to go to the like photocopy of the book rather than buy the original book. We know that original book should buy, but there's no other option. Now, come the question is that so when you have this kind of problem, how you solve it? I always mention different. You should not think everything from the best of the US. You shouldn't think everything from the best of you. You should think based on your own country, and we have to think. So maybe okay, we don't upload the ebook in the Google Classroom, but there is lots of option we have. If you send the ebook through the email, is there any problem? If I send the ebook in the other way, is there any problem? No problem. So let us think whether you can provide the ebook to your student or not, or if they can collect it's okay. Because the ebook is very important at this one. Otherwise, how they will continue the reading or something. I already mentioned that we need the common policy, common technique, understanding, appreciation for the semester, conduction, and everything. So it should be demonstrated in the first day of class, or first week of the class. How many quiz will take, how many assignment will take, whether we'll take the midterm exam or not, or whether we'll take the final exam, and it will be online mode, and how will be this one. What is the strategy to take the online exam or something like that? The online exam is very critical discussion. And now come to the one question that whether you can take the like similar question what we did earlier in the online mode or not. I'll discuss this issue later. Go to the next piece, ma'am. You know that so what I said earlier that if the faculty member suppose suddenly there's a laptop problem, so it is not possible for them to buy the laptop instantly. So what is the next option? Next option maybe the department, university can provide the laptop. Not the permanent basis, it's temporary basis. So again, you can borrow our university laptop, you can use it, and after you buy the new one, you can return to the university. This provision you have to think for the faculty members. But for the students, so what I said earlier, we should create some scholarship fund or financial aid fund or the online to buy the online devices like microphone or smartphone, something like that. It is not. There is some criteria. I think university they know very well. There should be some criteria so they can apply, and then you can verify, you can check, and come to the decision whether student they need the scholarship fund or not. You know that some innovative techniques in seeing the student's attention. What type of innovative techniques you can take for the in order to get the attention of the students? The best approach is that you can ask them. Just you have finished the one or two slides, you can ask them some queries. Miss Samina, can you say this one? What we discussed in the class? Very softly, so they can participate. And do you have any question? You can ask them. Or what I said that every class you should keep some quiz or assignment or semester project presentation. You know that sometimes the group presentations, individual presentation, group assignment, individual assignment, something like that. You have to motivate students, encourage them. It's very important. You have to encourage them. As a faculty member, it's your responsibility. It's not only your responsibility, you'll go to the class, deliver the lecture, finish the class. No, no. You have to ensure the students they are facing the problem or not. If any student, their family member, they are affected due to COVID-19, you can share their problem with others, what problem you are facing, and you have to provide some of the your condolence to them. So they can understand you are thinking about them. Now you have to think about the auto withdrawal policy. There is some withdrawal system. I think you know that after the semester started, one or two semesters started, the auto withdraw or something. So now how will you manage it? I already mentioned the grading issue. I'll discover this one in the last slide. You know that if the faculty member they're very popular, so you should invite them sometimes so that they can also motivate the students or something. You know that the student tuition fees, university, there is some option so that the students they should give the tuition fees in the few installment, or maybe the payment deadline should be extended. Because what I said that the situation is different. So maybe you have to think. Earlier you have only two options, like you can pay the one time or two times. Now you have to give the installment, four installment or six installment, so that at least they can participate. Because it is the non-technical issues, but you can ignore this one. And without the payment, they allow the students to take the class, right? The government university, they have a system different, private university system is different. So the private university totally depends on the tuition fees. So as the depends on tuition fees, so you have to think how you can manage this one. Next, please, ma'am. You know that yeah, we have to think in this way that everything should take the decision slowly, and I would use the term that with passion. Listen carefully what type of problem they face. Any kind of non-technical problem, because this is not the common problem that you have the earlier experience. Now, how will you solve it? So, patience is the key to achieve the better result from the students. Even they will give the. You said that okay. Next class we'll take our who is the online platform. So it will be the Google Classroom. Okay. So you start the process. You display the question, and then after this display the question, you can say this is only 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes you have to finish this one. Okay. And suddenly 5 minutes finish. You know out of 40 students, 30 students they submitted, 10 students they didn't submit, and they provide some comments. At first, they said that the electricity problem, mobile hang, and the network problem, Wi-Fi problem, internet issues. How you solve it? If you say no, there is no excuse. You cannot do this one. Slowly, you have to make sure that the patience, with the greatest patience, you have to solve it because it's very important that if the state student is demotivated, maybe the next time they will not come to the class. So at least you have to give some option how we manage this one with patience. I again remind you that this is very important in that sense. Our students, their age is some 18 to 24. And they never say this kind of COVID-19. They never say pandemic time. And you know that this pandemic will come up maybe again after 100 years or 200 years. Once a time, like we can observe, maybe the next generation they will see this one. So when you deal this one, we have to remember this is the unprecedented situation. unprecedented situation. So we don't know earlier what will happen. We don't know earlier how we'll solve this problem. So when any issues will come up regarding the student issues, you have to deal with this one high level of patience, care, and attention. Again, I remind you, our students are our first priority. You can do the designated tutorial hour for the students if they face any kind of problem. You know that earlier in the university, when you do the face-to-face, there is a consultation hour. So the students they can come to the your class if they have any kind of problem or something. And this time we cannot do this one. So how we can do this? Again, Google Classroom. You can provide the one designated hour, 1 hour, every week 1 hour, 2 hours. So the students they should come and then they should discuss with you. So that it is as what is the Google platform. Same way, Google Meet, you can provide the link, they can come, you'll be there, so they can ask any question. At least students they can understand that you are very eagerly waiting to solve their problem. So they have to understand that you are very serious about them. So that is the one kind of motivation for them. Especially the weak students, you should invite them to come to the like this kind of tutorial hour so that they can do this one. I mentioned earlier that recording, there's lots of options of the recording. I also mentioned that you can do the recording earlier, but there's some questions, so you can do the recording during the class time. So that in future, any weak students come to you, they can ask any question, you can share the recording. So what I did in the class, you can see, you can, if you, before coming to me at first, you can see my recording lecture that come to me. I suggest you that regarding the attendance, earlier, suppose we are so much serious about the attendance, class attendance. Now, maybe we are a little bit, what you use the term that we have to manage empathy for the student. And maybe you can say that we are expecting 100% attendance, but in any circumstance, they cannot. Even if it happened, suppose a 30 minutes they are in the class, and next 30 they are not in the class. Now come to the question: you want to provide the attendance or not? How you solve it? So this is something you have to think in this way. And you know that what you mentioned earlier that we have to change our PowerPoint slides because we are now delivering the online mode lecture. Earlier we delivered the face-to-face PowerPoint, face-to-face lecture in PowerPoint, the online mode. So this is something we have to change our PowerPoint slides. I suggest you that provide the more diagram, more table, more figure, rather than more the language, the word sentence. So students they will like it. They will think of this one that this is something we can adopt in the class. And you have to what I said that you just confirm that when you design your PowerPoint slides, they are not in front of you. If you are confirmed that they are not in front of you, it's easy to think how you can manage these PowerPoint slides. Okay, madam, next please. We are discussed about the challenges. Basically, these are main discussion online. I think believe that Dr. Orpita Boshak, she'll deliver the lecture in the afternoon session, and she'll talk many things about the online. So now I'll move to a little bit different way, effective online learning. We are like to create the online learning will be more effective. So how we can do this? Our education online, online, online. No face to face. So now think. Maybe who knows, maybe one semester will finish in online lecture. Maybe 2 semesters we have to continue. Then how we'll manage it? So now we have to start to think. Education in online. Earlier we did not accept online education. Now we are going to accept. There's no other option. So that is the way to think. So change the mindset. Earlier if anybody say, I did my PhD online, we're not accepting this. Oh, it's online PhD, not accepting. Look very carefully, changing. In nowadays, lots of PhD, they're delivering their thesis, depends. They're delivering their dissertation depends in online. Even those universities, they did not approve this one earlier because we no other option. We have to go to this way. If you say no, okay, we will not take the PhD thesis defense now. You have to wait the next until the situation improving. Who knows? It will be the 1 year then. Already you see that we are now passing the fourth month. Is there any guarantee that it will finish the next 1 or 2 months? I don't know things so in this way. Now you have to think the technology integration. You understand that when you do the online lecture, you think that a technology incorporated with you. You have to think the microphone, you have to think the internet speed, you have to think the laptops, many things. Substitution, augmentation, modification, redefinition model. So now you have to think in technology integration. How you can do this one? It's very important. Technology adoption with you. Earlier, you think that okay, I will well prepared for the lecture. I can go to the class and deliver the lecture. Now it's no. You should depend on the technology. So you have to think how you can do this one. You see, earlier I remember that as in the Google Meet, Dr. Hamza, she signed the Google Meet. I remember that we have to use the Google Chrome. But when in the morning I opened the again the Firefox. I forgot to apply the Google Chrome. So I understood later, oh, this is the I didn't use that one. Very common problem, and you have to face this one. So this is something with technology integration. Nowadays we have to spend more time on laptop and see Google Class. There are lots of options. Even you know that you can understand that what type of protocol they have, what type of integration they have. So you can try to you can apply. Course design, I already mentioned, is very important nowadays. Course design, how you can do the course design. So spend more time. Earlier, you don't take the preparation. Nowadays, I think you have to think about the little bit preparation, faculty member preparation. Innovative learning culture. Yeah, I already described this issue. You have to ensure this one. Accessibility. Accessible. You know, your PowerPoint slides, suppose a 5 megabyte. Sometimes difficult. It's uploading and then creating this one, showing this one. So make sure that is accessible, or even I like to request one thing. Yeah, I notice it is a very effective. You can send your PowerPoint slide earlier. Though PowerPoint slides are not if you sufficient. PowerPoint slides are not sufficient for the students. This is the helping tools. But if you send the PowerPoint slide earlier to them, at least they can visualize what is going to discuss. And you can request them, when I deliver the lecture in the class, so please keep the PowerPoint slide with you, or you can open the PowerPoint slide with you. So that at least it will be more attentive. So if you couldn't provide the PowerPoint slide, then how they can see, how they can come to the decision? Because some of the students, who knows, they will log in from the mobile. So when they'll log in from mobile, maybe it is not very difficult, it is very difficult for them to see the PowerPoint slide. So if you mentioned earlier that during my lecture, I'd like to request that at least you have to keep the PowerPoint slide with you, so that easy to understand which slides you are, what you are discussing. You know that what you said earlier, that earlier we think they separate way. Teaching skills. He's the best teacher. He's a good professor. His lecture is excellent. His pronunciation, his accent is excellent. But nowadays we have to incorporate that technical skill, teaching skills with technical skills, both in online. So the technical difficulties you have to think. If you face the difficulty, so I am delivering the lecture, say suddenly something falling in my end. If you notice, if I face any kind of problem at my end, suppose the internet problem, or maybe the suppose the electricity problem, then how will manage it? We should need the backup. Backup will be the mobile phone. The mobile is beside me. So if I face any problems, so I can use the mobile, I can connect the mobile. But this kind of technical skills is very important. So at least that you can continue your lecture. Effective online learning. So it is very important. We have to think how we could do this one effective online learning. Next, please, ma'am. We are in the last mood. After this one, I like to invite the question, and I like to spend more time on the question and answer. You know, this online assessment. There are lots of research on online assessment. There are lots of questions about online assessment. There are lots of credentials about online assessment. But I would say that we accept all kind of critic discussion about online assessment. But now we have to accept it. I think I remember that at least that I was involved with the University of Roentgen, London, UK. At that time, there is a faculty manual for the online lecture. They use the blackboard. So I have some expertise in the blackboard. I still recall that time they explained online assessment, formative, summative assessment, lots of things, lots of discussion, Bloom's taxonomy, and many things. I don't want to discuss in details here because I like to give them a little bit overall idea. So that I believe there are other speakers. Like I noticed that there's one speaker. He'll also discuss pedagogy or something like that. So he'll just talk about this one. So first of all, you have to take your mind. we have to change face-to-face assessment to online assessment. So we already got the point. We have to change it. Okay. So in the face-to-face, you can think you like to assess the student by the exam, final exam, midterm exam. Now online assessment, final and midterm is useless, and there's lots of possibility they will do the cheating. You say we did the any all kind of process we are applying. They will not cheat. Don't trust, because our students they're more smarter than us. I always mention they're the smarter. They are using smart device. They are more smart, so it is very difficult for us to deal with them. So that is better that you have to reduce the weightage of midterm and final exam. So what is the target in the online assessment? The main target that the knowledge and skill development. Knowledge and skill development, whether their knowledge or skill development. We call it cognitive knowledge. You know that what I said that you like to deal the plagiarism, cheating with the student. It's difficult. Difficult. You know that there is internationally one. I think some of them you are familiar, especially those did the PhD or masters in the international level. Open book exam. Open book exam. Sorry. If you apply the open book exam, you can, but there is another problem. So you have to need that kind of question. So you have to provide a case study. They can open the book, but you have to ask the critical question, analytical question. Is that very easy? Again, if it is not very suitable for the student, then what will happen? So open book exam is one kind of solution. You are talking about that. Suppose we are in online, you are taking the exam. You are providing the 5 questions. So they have to answer 5 questions. Is there any guarantee that they could not see the book if it is not the open exam? Is there any guarantee that they are using the laptop, but beside that they have a phone, they can see this book or not? So that is the issue. So how we can manage it? You know, I request you that try to promote trust, respect, honesty, dedication. I use the term you have to promote. I did not say that you have to push. Try to promote. You know, internationally, so there is some university, they have a special seminar, ethics seminar. So they discuss the ethics seminars, that, how we can conduct everything personally, professionally, university level. So we have to discuss sometimes this kind of ethics. At least they have to maintain. Yes, what we can do, we already give the time restriction. Suppose this is the exam, the 1 hour exam. So they already bound the time. So if they have a little bit of respect, trust, and camera should be open, so you can see them. And already you reduce the weightage of the midterm and final. When you reduce the midterm and final weightage, automatically students they will not think seriously. But if your weightage the midterm and final is higher than like the similar to the like face to face, that time lots of cheating question will be there. So I'll give you the one example. I do not want to say that you have to apply this one, but you have to use it for just for sharing the experience with you. And you know the assessment there is a one very basic concept of Bloom taxonomy. So I like to request some of them if you're interested, you can see also Bloom taxonomy. They are explaining that how you can do the assessment in formatting and summative assessment, and they're explaining what is the criteria for the formatting and summative assessment. So look very good. Left, there are the two tables in this line. The left table, that is the basically face-to-face assessment process, and the right one is that online assessment criteria process. What is the left one? Suppose the class attendance participation only 5 out of 100. But if you look very carefully in the online assessment, we propose a 5 to 10. If you choose the 5, it's okay, the minimum, but maximum 10. Oh, so you see already we double 2 times. Earlier it was a 5, now you'd like to make sure the 10. The quiz, earlier it was a 10%. Now we propose that quiz to the 15 to 20%. 15 to 20%. 15 is the minimum, max the 20. So you see, we are changing the mood. And then earlier there was the assignment 15%. Now we say the assignment project is a 20%. 20%. But we add the another one, Viva. So you should give the Viva. Suppose you one student submit the assignment. So it's a group assignment. So at least you can ask them question what they are submitting. That is the part of Viva. You can take the two Viva. Say there is a semester project. I prefer the semester project in the class nowadays. So personally, I prefer the assignment. There will be semester project. One assignment is enough. The one semester project. So you provide the case study or something. They based on that they have to provide they have to prepare the report, semester project report, and based on that they have to give the presentation in the PowerPoint slide. So when they will give the presentation, you can ask the question, or there may be any student they can ask the question. So look very carefully. We are changing the mood. So Viva assignment semester project. Look, 30 to 35% marks. The Viva assignment semester project, 30 to 35% score. And finally, this is look very carefully. Midterm, earlier it was 30%. Say, now we propose a 20 to 50%, 15%. Minimum 15, maximum 20. Not more than that. So look, changing the criteria. We say minimum 15, maximum 20. Earlier it was 30. Final exam, earlier it was a 70. Now we propose minimum 20, maximum 30. Minimum 20, maximum 30. Look, changing the criteria. So if you look very carefully, midterm final, earlier it was 70%, say. Now we propose this midterm final will be 35 to 50. 35 to 50. And I suggest personally, if you ask me, this is our standard, that is better than 35% midterm final. Why? What I said that if you put the less weight in the exam, that is easy to take that come to the decision. If you have the more weight, is the question of the cheating, and maybe someday you can control the cheating. You can do the many process, but it's very difficult to maintain the cheating. How you can check this one? You are in your home, they are in their home. How you can think, confirm that they are doing cheating or not? Even you claim that they are doing cheating, but there is no way how you could challenge them. So better no need to go this kind of opportunity that whether you can challenge them, they will refuse that. No need. You have to come to the decision and make it very simple. We reduce the weightage in the assessment for the final midterm exam. That's good for everyone. And again, I remind you that different courses, this criteria may be changed, but at least you have to make sure that there should be some assignment, there should be some semester project as well as presentation. So in the presentation or based assignment, you can answer queries. So there is a question and answer session. So that at least you can understand their knowledge. With our main target, what I said earlier, online assessment, that whether they get the enough knowledge or skills developed or not. If they have the enough knowledge or skills, that's fine. I would say that again that face-to-face learning and online learnings are the same, but we have to compromise. But we cannot compromise the quality. So at least we have to confirm that students they have that kind of knowledge, so that at least they can be graduated. Because you understand, if you reduce the course contents, I always mention to everyone that it's better do not reduce the course contents too much. Yes, you can do one thing. Important chapter, more you can more emphasize. A less important chapter means you can put the less time. But do not delete the chapter. If you say no need to reduce the contents, no. Because if you reduce the contents, maybe this student they'll go next semester, but there is some continuation of the course. I think you know that like. So when they could not get anything about the course in the last semester, then how you come to the next semester? So what I request you that course outline could be same. You can reduce that timing. Suppose this chapter is very important, we have to spend the many 3 sessions. This chapter is less important, we can use the one session. At least they have to get the idea. Okay, when you ask the question for important chapter, you can ask the question, but there is no question on the unimportant chapter. But at least they have to knowledge that I know this one, I heard it this one in the class. The next session when they go to the class, they can understand we have discussed. But I said that online assessment, online learning, online lectures, we are compromised, but we cannot compromise the quality too much. We have to maintain the some certain quality so that we can continue this kind of online learning and online lecture as well. So, please, ma'am. So we are in the last stage. I believe that We have done the a little bit of discussion of the online platform, the why we are doing this one, our challenge, and why we have to go to there, our context. And so now I like to open the floor for everyone. We can take some question. Madam, if you allow, we can take some question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You can type
please.
in chat box or you can unmute and ask the questions directly.
Please. They are facing technical difficulty.
No, no,
How
sir.
can we conduct the
Yeah.
okay? How can we conduct the exam effectively? I already mentioned this one. I think that there is a at first you have to read the weight, what we discussed earlier, and now midterm exam, 15% weight is say. So at first the timing, the same 4 o'clock will start. I suggest you if you take the exam in the Google platform, Google Meet, Google Classroom, so you can post the exam on time. 4 o'clock you can post. So when you post, they can see. Everybody's on online. 4 o'clock. So now you can post it. So now they can open this one. They can see the post. There is the 5 question, and you time in the 1 hour, or maybe you can reduce the time. So when with the 1 hour time, say 1 hour time. So you look, you have to mention the one criteria that everybody should turn on their video. So check the video very carefully. So when the 1 hour, there is an option in the Google Classroom. They can submit the script. After the scheduled time, they can submit. So you just give this timing. Suppose the class exam will finish 4 to 5. The 5 o'clock, you are given the 5 minutes. So your allowable time for 5 minutes, you can submit your script. So now they can submit the script within 5 minutes. So 4 to 5, 4 plus 5. When there is the 5 minute pass, you already make the one schedule in the Google Classroom. They cannot submit any midterm script or anything after this time. So already you block them. So now you can see. So you understand the student, they are willing to submit earlier. They don't want to take the risk. That is the something. And now come to the question, what type of question you can ask? I again request you have to ask the critical question. Say, there is a supply chain model. You discuss the supply chain model. So you just mentioned. Can you give the one example for manufacturing industry, how you can apply the supply chain model? You can ask them, can you give the one example so that they have to explain that one. They have to explain this one. So that means they are not copy and pastes. So this is something you have to think how you can ask the critical question. Thank you. Next one.
There is one more question: how students can learn the practical testing from laboratory?
Thank you so much. You are in the most appropriate question you are coming. I did not discuss this issue. I did not discuss this issue. Thank you so much. Uh, we are exploring the solution. At first, we thought that we'll stop the practical class. We'll not take any kind of practical class now. We'll take this one when the situation will be improved. But now we notice now already fourth month is going on. So how long we can wait? So now we are thinking, but this is not only in Bangladesh, not in Malaysia. This is even in the USA. They're doing this one now. Faculty member will come to the university, and they'll do the practical class in the lab. So that will be demonstrated in the live. But again, I remind you that it is a practical in that sense you are doing this one, they can see, but they cannot do the practice. So that is the one drawback, and that is the way we are thinking. Let's see, maybe we have to change it again after 1 or 2 months. But this is one critical thinking, and that is we can get the good solution for this one. Sorry for that. Thank you. This is one drawback of the online learning, that practical class.
So we have
Thank you.
another question
Please.
from Bigish sir. For the students who say that they are unable to afford the internet topper, how to find the solution for them?
That is something that that I already mentioned this one, that that university they should create some fund. I believe even every university, the faculty member, they are donating for the students a different way. So why not the university, if they create the one fund, even each faculty member, they provide the 1 day salary, or maybe they are willing to provide a few money for this. Even university board of trustees, university top management, they are also willing to contribute. Create some opportunity for the financial aid, so that the sort of students they can get some fund from there. Because if you think that there is no other way, other option, and I like to request the university, they can discuss the telecom industry in India. Indian telecom industry is very strong industry in the world. So whether the university students they can get some of the like the what you call the discounted package, so they can afford this one. So that is the way we have to come to the solution. Okay. Thank you.
We have another question from Sudha Rajesh, ma'am. Sir, how we can make the students more attentive during online classes?
Again, this is a very difficult question. You see, today I delivered the lecture more than 1 hour, 15 minutes. Are you attentive? You are attentive. You are attentive because you are faculty members. You know this is very important for you, but they don't bother. So let's do one thing. First of all, you have to be friendly. Suppose you are very, you know that most of the university teachers they're very moody, they're very tough in the class. We have to manage in this way. Otherwise, how we can manage the personality? But at least the online learning, you should be a little bit more person should be more friendly personality at least. Otherwise, students they will not interact with you, they will not feel interest. Number one. Number two, you have to give some options like after 5 or 10 minute the lecture, you just pause. Okay, so now I like to ask some query. So what do you have an understanding level? So you can ask them. So when you ask them, they have to understand that maybe the next time the faculty member they can ask any more question. And sometimes you have to keep the like one quiz or assignment submission so they can interact. So you like to give them more space for the interactive session rather than continuous lecture. If you do the 1 hour lecture, it's sometimes very difficult. Interactive session. If we continue this interactive session, I believe it's a little bit more better than face-to-face class in online mode, the live classes in online mode. Thank you.
So we have one question, again, sir. Sir, in law course, for the practical purpose, visit of local court is mandatory. How this may be managed?
Good question. Good question. You know that in our country that government they started the virtual court. So you understand that justice will be there in camera, and then the lawyer will be another camera, and that is the option. The police they will keep the person who is accused or something like that. So there is a virtual, and then government changed the amendment constitution for this one. So this is the one option, but it's not possible in the university level how you give the practical knowledge of the code. I believe that university authority they should talk with the that department, respective department, especially local code, how will manage it, because you understand this problem we never think like the last 100 years. Even last pandemic we forget it. The people we couldn't, maybe most of them we are not facing this last pandemic, but even we forget this history. But this is the one they are creating the different way. This pandemic COVID-19 that you have to think the different way. How you manage it? And now I understood everything that even the rich people, even the financial solve they are not capable to solve the problem. So we have to make some of the rules and regulation, change our law, change our system. I like to request that it's better the respective university, they can talk with the government, especially the local code, how they will continue this one. I believe if we discuss, at least get some point. Maybe we will not get the 100% solution. Even if you get the 50% solution, that's enough, because we are facing the problem everywhere. So how you will manage? Please discuss with the like local code or respective authorities so that they can get some solution. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, may I ask few clarification
Yeah, sure.
from Prof? Yeah, thank you, Prof. This is Dr. Hajan Nazir from Pharmacy Department. Thank you for the good presentation. You have mentioned in the last slide the weightage range for online examination, including summative and formative. My question is, you have mentioned if our final examination, the weightage can be reduced into, maybe we can fix 20% to 30%.
Right.
All right. Okay. In case of, I think also I got from your slide, we need to link Bloom's taxonomy for preparation of questions. For higher standards, for example, we actually, our practices, we have been increasing our level of difficulty questions from first year to final year. So in that case, if, for example, we are teaching final year students, for third year students or fourth year students, how would be the the level of difficulties in case of online exam preparation? So, for example, LOD 1 to LOD 3, low level to high level difficulty questions. How would we can distribute the questions?
Thank you so much. If though I did not discuss in details about the Bloom's taxonomy, especially the formative assessment and summative assessment, I just give the one idea as the professor is asking a question. Formative assessment, multiple choice, true, false, fill the blanks, matching, simple discussion on the chat box, something like that. Summative assessment means analyze, synthesis, judgment. It could be like numeric decision-making question. Then it could be the like one kind of assessment, assignment, project, case study, viva, presentation, short question, broad question, analytic question. So my personal view, I just give you one example so that you can also understand that what point of view I'm talking about this one. Say, look, research methodology course. Usually we are using this on the senior level, third year and fourth year level. And this is methodology course, what we are doing? We are discussing the class, the outline of the research project, and how we can design the research project on the paper or something. So in the final exam, we just provide the one scenario that we like to design the one research based on these topics. Suppose the customer satisfaction in the KFC in the Indian region. So based on that, you can design your course out. You can design the research outline, and then you can write down the chapter 1 or chapter 2, something like that. This kind of question is for the final year students or third year students, so that you understand. Even they open the book, no problem. But what I said that the problem is that that in this junior level, there's low difficult question. You can provide the multiple choice, fill in the blanks, true, false, something like that. Senior level we can provide, but in terms of that easy level question, it will be like in the level question in the final stage, the final students they'll get the 20%. Remaining 30% will be the short question, and remaining 50% will be the analytical question. It's the critical question or creative question. So that is the something that like 50% should be the analytical question, and that should be the again come to the point. You have to check the fit. We can. I just give one example. This is a methodology, but you can fit either like other courses whether you can fit or not. I believe this faculty member, if they take seat, do some brainstorming, they can explore some analytical question. So that they can come to that example. Even if you for the numerical question, like mathematical solving question, but mathematical solving question, we can do produce an analytical thinking. Suppose after the getting the result, you can provide the justification why you have the two options, which option you can choose based on this data. So after solving the problem, they come to the decision. So that is the analytical question. They are depending their answer that why you like to use that one or something like that. You understand, Professor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the clarification.
Any other questions? I think, sir, there's no more questions.
Okay, so I just like to give the one special thanks to Dr. Hamza, Nikit Hamza, madam, for her innovative approach. I always notice her WhatsApp and everything, though I couldn't reply, but I also amused that what she's doing. I suggest that that is the way to development. And what now Dr. Hamza, madam, she's trying to do. We need the brainstorming. there is no solution, but try to come up with a solution. And that's why you need the faculty training, faculty discussion, and this kind of something. And I believe that as we are the university, I always mention university, you are the lecturer, you are the professor. What city you will be professor. So university faculty members, you have some responsibility, how we can build up the society, how we can create that next generation. So let's have a seat, discuss any problem, you have to discuss, and then come to the solution. Maybe it is not the optimal solution, but how we can start, we have to start it. An online platform is the one option that instead of the face-to-face lecture. So that is the way you can start. So thank you so much, madam, again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much on behalf of all faculties and university. Thank you. Hope to see you back again with the research topic, sir. Soon.
Inshallah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. My pleasure. My pleasure. Can I leave now?
Sure, sir.
At least everybody can turn on your microphone, say goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah, everyone
turn
can.
on your mic and video cam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
sir.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank
I
you.
can see Dr. Orpita.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Orpita.
Join your lecture from the beginning.
Yeah. She's the one that who brought me in this level. Thank you, madam.
It's not like that. I just
No.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So thank you, everyone. See you soon. See you again. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'll stop recording and then we will. So, ma'am, do we want a 5 minutes break? Okay, sir. Then, Arpita, ma'am, we will come back again after 5 minutes break.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
not disconnecting anything. Only I'm stopping the recording.
Definitely.